What is a 223 or 3443 parenting schedule? Hi, I'm Sharon, and I'm an attorney who does child custody law in Middle Tennessee. And one of the things that I do in my practice is work with parties to come up with custodial plans to figure out where the child will be and with which parent for what amount of time. When you're talking about custody arrangements and where the child is going to be, you need to take into consideration the best interest of your child. So what does your child need specifically, and what does their schedule look like? That's one of the things that as parents you should look at, and that if you end up going to court, that the court is going to look at to evaluate which parent should have the child during which amount of time. There's a lot of different parenting plans that can be done. One is the standard where you have the child with one parent every other weekend and through the week with the other parent. You can have one where you alternate weeks, so one parent has a child and then the next week the parent has a child, and it flips week by week. You can do the same type of schedule when you have 2-week blocks, so 2 weeks with one parent, 2 weeks with another parent. Sometimes if you have an arrangement where one parent has every other weekend, then they kind of bulk up a little bit over the summer and they get more time during the summer. So they can have maybe more of the summer, 50%, and a week on, week off, or they can have full months at a time. And that kind of depends on, again, the schedule of the child and the needs of the child. Some of the more unusual parenting plans that we see are called a 223 or a 3443 plan. And what that is where you have a child be at one parent's house for, say, 2 days, the next parent's house for 2 days, and then back to the other parent's house for 3 days, and you alternate and flip those. Same with a 3443 plan. Some courts do these plans because the child is smaller, and a week at a time without seeing a parent can be disruptive for the child, or they need to be around the parent a little bit more frequently. I don't see as many courts ordering these as I do just parents agreeing on these. So sometimes if you want a plan that has shorter amounts of time and a lot of exchanges, you would need to work that out in an agreement, because I don't see a lot of courts, at least where I practice, that regularly implement that schedule. One of the reasons you would not have a 223 plan or a 3443 plan is if the parents have a hard time with an interaction of exchange of the child. So sometimes you need to have the exchange of the child be less frequent because the parent interaction is not a positive experience. So sometimes that is a barrier. And sometimes the child does not respond well to having that much back and forth. So it is very dependent on the child. Ultimately, I tell my clients that the best way you're going to get the plan that you want is if you guys can agree to it, if you and the other parent can agree to it, because ultimately if you go in front of a judge, they're going to just order what they're going to order, and you won't have as much say as if you were to agree to something. As always, this is very dependent on your jurisdiction and your judge, so check with a local attorney to see what they do in your area, and follow me for more information on family and child custody law.